my name is April and welcome to my channel. Today I am joined by my lovely friends. This is Ray.
Hi,
That's
Ray.
Daniel.
Hi.
That is Pink.
Hi.
And that is Kanoka.
Hello.
Or Kano. And today we're going to be telling some stories. No. We're basically going to be playing a story
Called Finish.
game.
Finish the story. Yeah,
Finish the story. I think it's basically like telephone. No,
it's not like telephone.
No, it's not like telephone at all.
No.
I don't remember the name, but I know like what it is. Okay, so basically what you have to do is somebody starts, and then when whoever's turn it is, they say a phrase or a word or a sentence, and then we just basically add on to that sentence or phrase or word until we get a full story. And let's see if we will die from laughter. All right.
Yay!
Yay.
This is gonna be fun.
Alright, let's do this.
Who wants to start?
April
first round, right? Yeah, April.
Oh
You
God.
start, and then we'll go against
Clockwise or
clockwise.
counterclockwise? Okay, yeah.
I just completely blanked
wait.
out. Okay.
So that would mean April, and then
Let's just go April, then you. Well, right, and then Daniel.
Okay, and then
Okay, counterclockwise. Yep.
Gotcha.
Counter. Oh, that's counter. Okay.
Okay. So, once upon a time there was a princess.
She lived in a big castle.
Daniel.
Is this a hard story for you?
My mind.
His mind is blown already. He's like, there's a princess in a castle.
Say the first thing that popped in your head. I'll say it again, just for you. She lived in a big castle.
With her pet dog.
Her pet dog was really big.
And her feet were really small.
Why are we? What's up with her?
One day, her father told her that she would have to get married.
But she said, "Oh, I want to marry the dog."
Yo, this is getting weird now.
But her father would not allow it.
So she ran away with the dog.
Okay. She reached a neighboring village and stayed in a hotel there.
So, and in this village, there was a witch that can turn animals into humans.
So the princess went to the witch to turn the dog into a human.
But it turns out that the dog wasn't who she expected to be.
As soon as the dog was turned into a human, he said, "Bye, Felicia," and then ran off.
The princess felt betrayed that her precious dog had chosen to leave her, and she cried.
And she cried and she kept on crying until a prince came over and went like, "Bro, why you crying?"
And she was still crying.
And that day, in that fancy hotel in the medieval times, she spent her nights eating food and watching rom-coms.
And then she went back to her kingdom with the prince who comforted her, and they lived happily ever after.
Because they'd gotten another dog.
The end. The end. Stop it, here. Stop it. Stop.
A smaller dog.
No, please stop the story.
We can't go on anymore. We gotta stop it. Okay, this one's over. Okay.
Oh God, that was a weird story.
I'm sorry.
We're off to a great start.
Okay, well, why don't we start with somebody else? Ray, why don't you start?
Okay. Once upon a time, there were two brothers.
They had a multitude of problems going on with each other.
One liked the color pink and one liked the color blue. That's why they were at odds with each other.
One day, the brother who liked pink decided that he was tired of the brother who liked the color blue,
God, somebody likes me.
and he started a war.
And both sides wanted to win this war, so they decided to go hunt down the legendary Pokemans.
The Pokemon.
But the legendary Pokemans was really hard to find.
I don't know where to go with this after.
I don't know. Is this like a win-lose thing? Did I lose?
Just going.
The Pokemon was really hard to find
Yeah.
because they would have to travel overseas.
And once they got to the place they needed to go to, they couldn't communicate with the locals because they couldn't speak their language.
Yes. So the brother who liked pink decided, hey, you know what? I'm tired of talking to these people, and decided to go off on his own and went into the woods.
When he went into the woods, he saw a flashing light of rainbows and sprinkles, and out popped the legendary Pokemans.
He quickly grabbed the legendary Pokemans and ran away.
Back to his brother, showing off the Pokemons.
He told his brother that he would train to become the very best that there ever was.
Is this even about color anymore?
When the brother who liked blue heard this, he immediately slapped the brother who liked pink and took his Pokemans from him.
Oh my god, trauma! Oh, scandal!
And then the Pokemans who they took from each other turned out to be as big as that McDonald's over there that you can't see. Shot out. Oh god, shot out. I mean, don't flag this. Don't copyright this video, please. Not sponsored. And it shot out some French fries and gave everyone food for a week. I don't know.
But it wasn't just for a week, it was for an entire year of food supply for the war.
Oh wow.
It was French fries.
I'd rather just starve to death than eat french fries, I'm sorry.
I don't know where to go with that. What did you say?
Just say the end. Just say the end.
Yeah. Yay!
And thus the conflict between the two colors was never solved.
But they have French fries.
Daniel, why don't you start one?
Okay, here we go. On one spooky night, just like this one, there were 5 individuals sitting at a campfire.
But what they didn't know was that one of them was a murderer. Oh,
What? Oh!
foreshadowing.
Over the course of the night, the 5 individuals started talking with one another, and it was made clear that one of them had a very suspicious background.
One of the 5 people came from the mountains. Another one came from the woods. Another one came from the ocean. Another one came from the valley, and another one came from the magical kingdom of Camelot. Because
Camelot.
And the murderer ended up being the one from Camelot.
Oh wow, shocking.
Oh god. He sat there. Oh, assuming gender is my bad. They sat there waiting to attack one of the people at the campfire because one of them held a secret that nobody else knew.
That secret was so large that it could crumble down kingdoms and set people into chaos. So that knight knew he had to kill that person because that was his job.
Yes. So the person from Camelot decided that he would propose a game to the other 4 individuals, a game involving the telling of stories.
And then the murderer threw out some marshmallows.
It was all a plan.
Why is it two people? Two people
Well, little do they know, they're invincible.
And the end. It's happily ever after. The end. What?
The biggest plot twist. Top 10.
There wasn't even just one murder, there are two murderers.
Oh
It was
god.
also
Okay.
the guy. It was also the guy from the mountains too.
The mountains. And
Mountain and Camelot.
I knew one of us was gonna do it. I didn't expect both of us to do it.
okay. All right. Let's see.
You're next.
Once upon a time, in a very faraway kingdom, there lived a king and a queen, and a princess who was cursed.
This
Dun, dun, dun.
This princess was cursed to never be able to look at another person and smile at them.
But she does like cinnamon rolls.
This causes a big problem for her at school.
Princess school.
Princess school.
Royal school. Magic school.
People thought that her attitude would seem very rude and let's just go with rude.
But she wanted to make friends desperately, so she decided to get a little creative.
She took a class in makeup application and painted a smile on her face that was the color red.
I don't know why, but I thought I'm just a killer for a second.
She accidentally overdrew the smile, and then it looked like she had been drinking someone's blood.
And people thought she was a vampire.
And so everyone steered away from her for all. And she never understood why.
And then she decided to move far away because everybody would make fun of her whenever she walked past them.
One day, though, her parents called her because they were concerned about her mental health.
And much to her parents' surprise, she said she found the prince of her dreams, aka a vampire.
Luckily enough, the vampire didn't smile either.
And so she wiped off all the makeup off her face and they didn't smile together.
And they raised 2 unhappy children and lived life boredly. The end.
That was a beautiful story.
That was actually like a normal story. Oh man.
The cinnamon roll.
Alright, you know you're gonna be our last story.
Ooh, okay, gotta think of a good one then. Okay.
Make it interesting.
Right. Once upon a time, there was a young boy who was gifted with the ability to sing songs that would lure people to their death.
Oh snap.
That's a
Okay.
start.
One day he also happens to be a merman. So one day he was swimming in the ocean, right? And then he sees this girl, this gorgeous AF girl. And he went like, oh my god, I like this girl. I want her to be my wife.
So he sang lots of songs to her, but she didn't really acknowledge him.
Because she was deaf.
Oh goodness. So he had no choice but to swim up to the surface and see and get her attention by waving his arms and tail around in a weird like motion.
When the girl saw him, she at first assumed he was a fish and tried to catch him.
But then when she tried to catch him, he dragged her into the bottom of the ocean.
Oh god.
Okay.
Okay. But even though this girl was deaf, she was a really good swimmer, so she was able to swim all the way back to the top.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she ran away. But
The man decided that he would take no. Oh God, he said he did not want to take rejection.
Oh, no.
He does not take rejection well. So he prayed and wished for legs, and he was given them the very next day.
So the young man set off to find the deaf girl of his life, and he found her in a village just off the coast of Wakanda.
She was eating. She was, and then he saw that she was eating his crab friend.
And he's like, nah, I'm not gonna deal with this girl who eats my friends.
And he tries to go back into the water, but his merman body didn't revert back to its original form.
So he had to suck it up and buy a house on the coast.
And he felt incredibly unhappy living on the coast because every day he had to look out at the sea and remember his old life and remember he could never go back there ever again.
The end.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh, we're gonna keep going to how fast it's gonna get.
What, April? And he died? And he died. Okay, the end. The end.
Oh God, that got really dark. Wow, okay, that lesson learned. Boys and girls, do not put your heart out on the line for love, and do not sacrifice everything because that person might turn out to be something that they're not. So be careful when being in relationships.
Approved.
Especially
Just the moral of all these stories.
The moral. Just don't date. Be single forever. It's okay.
Like all
it's
of us.
not that bad.
Anyways, I think that's it for story time. I'm pretty tuckered out. I should probably go to sleep.
Yeah. Probably a good idea to get some rest and head into the tent and
Sounds good.
Oh
get
God,
for the night.
there's the crab and the gravestones in there too. I don't want to.
Oh.
What the? Wait, you're not even sleeping on it correctly.
What?
You know what? While you guys go sleep in the tent, I'm just gonna go walk back to my house. So
Oh.
see ya.
Yep.
Fine, have fun.
Alright,
Bye.
bye.
I'll stay here with the murderers. Oh wait, I'm one of them.